This session we are going to continue with our JavaScript series, and we are going to pick another cool topic, that is JavaScript object versus map. So both object and map stores key value pairs. But we are going to understand what's the difference between them and when to use which thing. The first is like the intro to data types in JavaScript. JavaScript has 8 data types that are string, number, big int, boolean, undefined, null, symbol, and object. We are primarily going to focus on the object type. So the object data type can contain either an object, an array, a date, or anything that is declared using the new keyword. So now you must be wondering why the data type of the array is object. So that is because of prototype inheritance in JavaScript. So let's talk about it. Prototype inheritance in JavaScript, an object can inherit properties of another object. An object will have its own prototype properties where its methods are defined, and it can extend the properties of another object by extending the prototype of that object. So take the example of an array. So it has its own prototype, then it extends the properties or the prototype of object. That is why this is the reason why the data type of array is object. So let me go to the Google Chrome, and this is our inspect window. I'll initialize an array here using the two square brackets, and now I'm going to do it, and this shows me this is the array. If I click on the arrow and if I open it, I can see that this empty array contains a prototype. If I open this prototype, I can see all the methods of the array which it extends. So this array can have concat, fill, find, keys, map, pop, push. Then at the bottom I can see it has the prototype of an object as well. So if I open it, I can see the methods of the object type, that is has on property, toString, value of. So this means that array it has its own prototype, then it extends the prototype of the object data type. So if I do type of is used to determine the data type of the variable. So if I do a type of ARR, I can see the answer is object. So this is the reason why the type of data type of array is object. Going to continue our topic. So what are object type in JavaScript? In JavaScript, an object is a fundamental data structure that allows us to store and organize data in the form of key value pairs. So it is a versatile structure used extensively in the language for various purposes, including representing real world entities, data structure configurations, and many more. So if we see an example of the object, we can let's say we want to represent a person, and person will have different characteristics. For example, the person will have first name, last name, age. If you want, we can add a attribute as whether is student, if this person is a student or not. So this will be a boolean, is student is false. Then a person can say hello, so this say hello will be a function. So whenever someone will call person.sayHello, so this function would be printed. This person will have the first name as John Doe, so it will print hello, I'm John Doe. So this is a basic representation of an object in JavaScript. So now let's discuss important object functions. So how we can add an key to an object. So that is using either the square bracket notations or using the dot notation. If you want to use the square bracket notation, we can let's say we have created an object person. So we can use person square bracket name is equals to Samarth, or person dot name is equals to Samarth. Then if you want to delete a key from the object, we can directly use the delete person dot name or delete person square bracket name. So it will delete that key from the object. Now let's say we want to check if the key exists in the property. So let's say I want to check whether person object has a key name. So we have has on property, this function which we can use to check if the key is present or not. Then with the object, we have native serialization and parsing. So we can serialize the object using JSON.stringify. Serialization means like we convert the JavaScript object into a JSON string. About JavaScript maps now. The map object holds key value pairs similar to objects, and the map remembers the original insertion order of the keys. So the order in which the keys are inserted, the map object remembers that. Any value, both objects or primitive values, may be used as either the key or the value. So this is an important point. Like for the key, that is the first part. For the key, we can either use objects or primitive values. But with the JavaScript object, we can only use strings and symbols as the key. So I'll later show you when we see a demo. So for let's say we take an example, we define a map using the new keyword, new map parenthesis. So map1.set, we are inserting a key, with the value as 1. This is similar to the Apex map class. So similarly, we are inserting another value. Now we can get the result, we can fetch the result for that specific key using the get method. We can get the size of the map, like what are the values here. We can delete the property in a map. So these were some functions of the map. Now let's discuss the difference between object and maps. So firstly, the map keys can be of any value, including functions, objects, or any primitive data type. But for an object, the key, since both these are key value pairs, the keys of an object must either be a string or a symbol. The number of items in a map is easily retrieved from its size property. So we have a dot size method in the map, as we seen in the previous example. So using it, we can easily retrieve the size of the map. Determining the number of items in an object is more roundabout and less efficient. So we have some workarounds, but it is not straightforward. So the map performs better in scenarios involving frequent additions and removals of key value pair. So if let's say you have a scenario where you want frequent additions and removals of key value pairs, then go for maps. So this object, the object type is not optimized for frequent additions and removals of key value pair. Serialization and parsing. So we don't have any native support for serialization and parsing for the maps, since maps are frequently used for either fetching the values, removals, and additions. And for the object, we have the native support using json.stringify and json.parse. So when to use map and when to use JSON object. So when we want to use any other value other than string as the key, then go for maps, since map even support array, object, function as the keys, as I said. So when we want to do frequent addition and removal of key value pairs, then go for maps, since map is optimized for that. So when we want to create a JSON structure that is to be consumed by API, so definitely we will do a serialization of that structure. Then JSON object should be the one used, since objects support native serialization and parsing. So so now let's go to the Google Chrome console and see some examples. So firstly, I'll declare an object with the name obj1. I'll declare one key, name as Sam. So it's declared. I'll declare another object, obj2, declare an empty object. Now I'll just use the dot notation, obj2.obj1 is equals to some value, trying to insert an object as the key. So it got inserted. So now if we try to use object.keys with obj2, so we can see that the obj1 is getting returned, but it is as a string. So this is a string. So basically the object stores everything as each key as a string. Now let's declare a map. So map1 is equals to new, using the new keyword. Let's declare a map using the new keyword now. So and I'm going to set obj1 as the key of this map. Map1 dot set obj1 and I'm going to provide set some value, hi. So boom, now we can see that object, the full object is getting stored as the key. So we can see that the key is this object, while when we declared the normal JavaScript object, the key was getting stored as in the string format. So you would not be able to retrieve that key as an object. But when you try to put the key as an object for the map, then we are able to retrieve the full object of that key. So this is the first major difference between object and the map. So wherever you there is a need when you want to store an object, a full object as the key, then go for map. And wherever you have frequent retrievals, additions, let's say you want to do caching, you want to perform caching of some values, then go for the maps. Map is better optimized for it. With object, we have the native support for serialization and parsing. So let's see that. I'll do a json.stringify of obj1. So we can see that this is converted to string. But with a map, we don't have any native support for it. So we'll have to do a workaround of converting each key and value to a string. So that is a long process. So yeah. So that's all for today's session. Hope you learned something new and you are going to use the map object in your JavaScript code from now on, wherever it suits. So thanks everyone for watching this video, and do subscribe to the channel for more such videos in the future. Thanks.